Hi guys, I'm Jace. Welcome to the Road to the Whaka100 Part 6 race review. So how did I do on the notorious Whaka100? Over 100 kilometers worth of trails, 86% of those single track, 3,000 meters worth of climbing. Give you a clue, it won't take that long. Let's get to it.
Ladies and gentlemen, you will be racing in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and they're off. Wave 3 in the Whaka100 2020.
Here we go at the start then, behind the professional guy with the leopard skin print. I start off on the right hand side because I knew there was tight left hand corners coming, and that didn't really help me there, or did it? It may have done, but as you can see, we go over the bridge now and there's another left turn, and it certainly helped me there. I seemed to pick up a few places on there because there was a big bunch on the inside, pretty much crammed in. Once I got a good start and I was quite near to the front, I just decided to just stick at sweet spot or threshold, and if anyone wanted to fly past me, they could. I was sticking to my plan, didn't care what they were doing. Still had a long way to go here. Now we're going up rock drop in a bit of a conga line. There's a long queue and there's some tight, steep switchbacks, and as you can see here, and this probably happened to anyone throughout the race, especially if you were further back, people started getting off. One person got off, everyone got off. I managed to just track stand and stay on my bike and just follow them up here, which I was quite happy with. Anytime I don't have to get off my bike, I'm happy. I think a lot of people had mechanicals, and this, as you can see, is close to the beginning, and I think at least 100 people didn't finish looking at the finish list. Out we pop onto Radio Hut Road, onto a long, well, it was about 500 or 600 meters, maybe more, tarmac road, and again I was just holding a steady pace. Looked like I was going quite quick there, I guess, but I probably realized and then just settled in. This of course meant that more people overtook me, but I was pretty comfortable with that at this stage. The guy in front of me was clearly enjoying himself. Until he wasn't.
Whoa. Whoa.
We did take this detour at Turkish Delight in so-called, which did throw me a little bit. We went around in circles, up and down, until we popped out onto the forest trail. Next came the slow climb up, as you do, a little bit technical, so it got the heart rate going pretty high. I tried to keep it down as much as I could until I got to the top. A couple of people passed me going up here. Then it was down got held up a little bit down here, but it wasn't too bad. I was just conserving energy as much as I can on these downhills and trying to relax. At this stage we passed the quarter mark and 25k point, and I was coming in at 1 hour 53, so 7 minutes under the 2 hour mark, so pretty comfortable. And at that point about 4 or 5 minutes behind a friend who finished in 7:05. Just on Linmore Link, went down and up a steep bank, and I changed down a few gears and I heard my gears crunch, and I couldn't understand why. My chain came off and I had to kind of push it most of the way up there. And then we came along this forest loop again, and something didn't feel right. The gears kept wanting to skip, felt quite difficult to pedal along this section. And then disaster struck. My chain snapped. I really want to say thanks to all the people that encouraged me and asked me if I wanted any help. I probably did need the help, well, I definitely needed the help, but the thing was I didn't want to ruin anyone else's race. So I was pretty much going through the motions here, trying to work out what I needed to do. My Crank Brothers tool had a chain breaker, so I used that. I broke a link off. Then I got my power link that was attached to my brake cable off.
Alright. How the fuck does this work? Alright, come on, Jace.
I basically didn't have a clue what I was doing and couldn't work out how to get the quick link attached, and embarrassingly had to do the walk of shame all the way back to the 25-kilometer point where there was a mechanic who fixed it in about 5 minutes, or should I say probably more accurately 2 minutes flat.
I guess it's about
how embarrassing.
the journey. That's what they say, I think.
Let's look at the things I did well. So what I did pretty well, I think, was my training. I think I was consistent. It was over a long period. I did the base. It was structured, base, build, and specific program. And it was over quite a long period. So I was pretty happy with that. There are some improvements that to be had, and I'm pretty sure I will work on those for next year. I knew the course. I'd recorded it all. I knew it very well indeed. There were a couple of surprises at the beginning, and the challenge, and also Turkish Delight and so-called, but overall I knew where I was throughout the whole of those 28 kilometers that I managed. My strategy was good. I started off as close to the front of the wave as I could, stayed in the right hand side, didn't get cut off in the corner. If anyone wanted to sprint by me on the double tracks, they could, or up the hills. I was trying to stick to sweet spot or a little bit above that as much as you could, apart from the steep stuff where you couldn't do that. Also on the single track, I just kept in my place, kept behind the person in front of me, and tried not to bother the person behind me. If anyone wanted to overtake, I would let them overtake. I think my nutrition plan was pretty good. I had a plan for a start. I processed it. I knew what it was going to take and what I was going to eat throughout, so I was pretty confident I wouldn't bonk and my nutrition was going to be spot on. I think lessons learned from this year's Whaka100 was the obvious one. Of course, trail maintenance. And just to prove I can now fix a chain, here's a clip of me practicing. I also want to do longer sweet spot sessions in my training program. So that will be by March. I want to have nailed 3 by 20 minutes of sweet spot, which is 88 to 94% of FTP. And that's with a break of 5 or 10 minutes between them. And that will be over a 2-hour period. So I think I benefit from the few sessions I did those towards the end. And then I will just maintain that as I go through the speciality phase and the base phase as well. Nutrition. I think I will also get most of my nutrition from liquids and gels, especially during the technical phases. Those first 25k or so, almost impossible to eat solid food. So when I tried to eat the power cookie, it almost choked me. I needed some liquid straight away. But the gels and also the Cliff Blocks were perfect for that. If I had more consistent climbs, then I could eat more solid food, and I think I will look at where I'm eating those in the future and plan accordingly. Also, one other thing I've learned, not to buy the merchandise before the race. So I can't really justify wearing that at all until I've completed the Whaka100. I guess it's going to be a motivator for me. I might wear it indoors sessions sometimes, but maybe even not. It's been a great journey. Thanks for watching, and I've loved the experience of sharing it with everyone and putting myself out there a little bit. So what's next for me? I think the Tudor ranges in January, I will either do the road or the mountain bike. I'm leaning towards the road version at the moment, mainly because I didn't really enjoy the mountain bike version last year. The trails at Hanua are really tight and twisty and not that technical really, and there's also lots of kind of four-wheel drive slogs. So I think it'll be more interesting doing the road ride, but I'm still unsure. Lake Hawea Epic, and that's I think 125 kilometers around Lake Hawea in just outside of Wanaka. So I'm planning to do that in April, fingers crossed. The other thing I had on my radar was the BC bike race after it got cancelled this year, and that's in July. I've already paid the money. It's been entered for next year. I think that's optimistic. I will give it a call in November or December to see what's happening, but that's probably more likely to be 2022. And of course the Whaka100 in October next year. Please subscribe. It will encourage me to do more videos and use my GoPro a little bit more and video my events. So please do that, and also give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you out on the trails and see you next year and next time.